Carmelo Hayes finally turned on Trick Williams at NXT Vengeance Day. And this was a moment in time for Black history because this past Sunday at NXT Vengeance Day, WWE did something with two black wrestlers that it's never done. And as a black wrestling fan who loves black wrestlers, I can't wait to talk about that in this video. Because how Dave Meltzer feels about Japanese wrestlers is how I feel about black excellence. Let's keep it real. WWE has been one giant glass ceiling since 1953. It's such a glass house, I'm surprised the Tulip hasn't main evented WrestleMania against a begonia. Over 50 years later, WWE is still making black history. They just had their first black-to-black title change as recently as 2021, when Big E cashed in his Money in the Bank contract against Bobby Lashley. No black man has ever been WWE champion for over a year, and there have been so few black WWE champions, Brock Lesnar has beaten them all!
White power!
Ever since the company launched as the Capital Wrestling Corporation, it's built its brand around the Great White Hope. The all-American white superhero has always been the focal point of WWE's company. Some of their best rivalries have been all white, like Bret versus Shawn, Bret versus Austin, Hogan versus Savage. If WWE was a person, it'd be Mike O'Hearn with a Boston accent. Pro wrestling has always existed as a variety show, but in that variety show, across almost every wrestling promotion, black wrestlers exist as the sideshow. The comedy acts, the monsters, pimps, and gangsters who are there to provide entertainment and little else. Kamala, the Junkyard Dog, and even The Godfather were all popular, but they all played the stereotypes that would never elevate them to world championship status. Vince McMahon's sex trafficking lawsuit has brought about promises of changing and cleaning house at the top. Nobody is safe, and hopefully as a result, WWE's leadership gets younger with a better read on the culture. Times have changed recently, with Kofi Kingston, Lashley, and Big E all becoming WWE champions in the past 5 years. Of course, they've all lost to Brock Lesnar in that span, but it's gotten to the point where black men winning the once elusive WWE championship isn't history anymore. And with Black History Month kicking off this week, I can't think of a better time for WWE to begin its next black evolution. Main event rivalries between two black superstars. In the current era of WWE, the main roster product works part and parcel with NXT. Those who get over in NXT are being groomed almost systematically to get over on the main roster. Even those who got over with Triple H when he was in charge back in the black and gold era are being given a second chance, like the authors of Pain. Braun Breaker was a top star in NXT, and right on cue, he ran through the Royal Rumble like a house of fire. And if you're watching the NXT product today, which you should be, you'll notice that it's now being built around Carmelo Hayes and Trick Williams. Who attacked Trick? It's gonna come out that Melo attacked Trick. Carmelo Hayes has already been getting his feet wet on the main roster, while Williams is not only the biggest star in NXT, if you heard that pop he got on SmackDown last week, he's one of the biggest stars in all of WWE. This past weekend at Vengeance Day, Williams had a chance to take one step closer to making history as the first NXT superstar to hold both the NXT World Championship and the NXT Tag Team Championship at the same damn time. Unfortunately, Williams didn't leave Clarksville, Tennessee with that history intact. Clarksville loved Trick Williams because really it's just a hop, skip, and a jump from the birthplace of the original "Whoop That Trick" catchphrase shouts to Al Capone. With Trick wrestling twice on this show, Clarksville chanted "Whoop That Trick" all throughout the night, thereby confusing the white wrestling media. I love it. February 4th is not only the start of Black History Month, but it's also a turning point for the black history in WWE. Shit, it only took over 50 years, but sadly, that's America. And come the end of Vengeance Day, WWE will launch its first long-term main event rivalry between two black men, after Carmelo turned on Trick. WWE could have stretched this storyline out longer, though I don't think that would have been as good of an idea. Trick really could have won both matches at Vengeance Day, only for Carmelo to screw him out of the tag team titles because Carmelo, a former NXT and North American champion himself, doesn't want to be outshined by his friend. The fact that so many scenarios could have played out is a product of great booking, thanks to Shawn Michaels. I've talked to Mello before, and he's a huge fan of Shawn Michaels and vice versa. HBK loves booking NXT storylines in homage to some of his greatest moments, like when Roxanne Perez fainted on that one episode the way Shawn Michaels did in his match against the late great Owen Hart. The Trick and Mello storyline is basically the culture's version of Shawn Michaels versus Diesel, and I'm here for it. The New Day is arguably the greatest stable in all of wrestling history, but they never broke up. While yes, that is something to be celebrated, you really have to wonder about their career trajectory had they broken up. Like the New Day, the Shield was a beloved three-man stable. Unlike the New Day, the Shield broke up. As a result, Jon Moxley became a top star and a world champion in WWE and AEW. He evolved from the wild card of the Shield to the lunatic fringe to head shooter of the Blackpool Combat Club. Seth Rollins went from the architect of the Shield to the golden boy of the Authority to the Messiah, then the Visionary, and now Seth freaking Rollins, the current WWE World Heavyweight Champion. Roman Reigns is also a current world champion and a historic one. Reigns is the biggest star in the company and the WWE Undisputed Universal Champion. He's held that belt longer than anybody not named Hogan, Bruno, or Backlund. And guess what? He got the chance to evolve from the muscle of the Shield to the big dog to now the tribal chief and head of the table. While two of the three members of the New Day became world champions, how did Big E and Kofi Kingston evolve? They didn't. You can argue that by not breaking up, they were never really given the chance to evolve as single stars, which thereby stunted their growth. That robbed the New Day the chance to individually grow and feud with one another all the way to the main event the way the Shield did. Trick and Mello broke up like a black house party in a white neighborhood. And for reasons beyond wrestling, it was a historic moment. Because this will mark the start of top black superstars feuding with one another and thereby bringing each other to the main event. Even more refreshing about Trick and Mello, they don't play to any stereotypes. They're just two brothers who hang out at the barbershop and get their hair braided and win titles. Trick and Mello's references to black culture are kept subtle and aren't over the top. As a result, they seem less likely that they were written by a white man, which, by the way, Mello told me those barbershop segments were all created and produced by Shawn Michaels. Imagine that. This past weekend at the Royal Rumble, Jade Cargill and Bianca Belair both got a huge pop as they performed stereo gorilla presses and then stared each other down. We really could have and should have seen a long-term main event feud between Belair and Sasha Banks, but that was only one match at WrestleMania 37 before Sasha split. We will now see a long-term main event feud between Belair and Cargill, and it's one that is guaranteed to rewrite women's wrestling history. Happy Black History Month. Check out this playlist about the Royal Rumble and subscribe. Who do you think will be the bigger star on the main roster? Trick or Mello? Tell me in the comments!